So in this video, we'll continue looking at the Lok Sabha, and now we'll look at the term of the Lok Sabha. So we know that the term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. The Lok Sabha can be dissolved earlier before the completion of its term by the President on the advice of the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister actually has to advise that the Lok Sabha be dissolved, and it can be done earlier from the term of 5 years also. So the Lok Sabha is dissolved by the President, and the standard term of the Lok Sabha is 5 years. Also remember that the term of the Lok Sabha can be extended 1 year at a time, any number of times in case of a national emergency. We have already read about national emergency, and we had seen that the term of the Lok Sabha can be extended 1 year at a time, any number of times in case of an emergency. So once the proclamation of emergency is revoked, such a Lok Sabha stops operating after 6 months. So after 6 months it is dissolved if there is an extension. So this has already been discussed under national emergency. Now we will look at the Delimitation Commission. The Delimitation Commission is charged with the task to draw the boundaries of the constituencies for Lok Sabha. The Delimitation Commissions are charged with the task to draw the boundaries for the constituencies for Lok Sabha. So we have already seen previously that the country and the states are split up into constituencies. These constituencies are drawn up on the basis of population, and this is done by the Delimitation Commission, which is charged with the task to draw the boundaries of the constituencies for Lok Sabha. The Delimitation Commission has been set up 4 times in the past, in 1952, 63, 73 and 2002. So these have all been set up under different Delimitation Commission Acts of 52, 62, 72 and 2002. So there have been 4 Delimitation Commissions until now, that is in 1952, 63, 73 and 2002. Under Article 82 of the Constitution, the Parliament by law enacts a Delimitation Act after every census. A Delimitation Commission is formed once the law comes into effect. This Delimitation Commission demarcates the boundary of the parliamentary constitutions as per provisions of the Delimitation Act. So once there is a census, then the government can decide to set up a Delimitation Commission. It is not necessary that it sets up, but the government can choose to set up a Delimitation Commission. This Delimitation Commission demarcates the boundaries of parliamentary constituencies as per the provisions of the said Delimitation Act. The present delimitation of constituencies has been done on the basis of the 2001 census figures under the provisions of the Delimitation Act of 2002. The Constitution of India was specifically amended in 2002 not to have delimitation of constituencies till the first census after 2026. I repeat, the Constitution of India was specifically amended in 2002 not to have delimitation of constituencies till the first census after 2026. Thus, the present constituencies carved out on the basis of the 2001 census shall continue to remain operation till the first census after 2026. So for 25 years this would continue to be valid, that is from 2002 to 2026. So the question then comes up is, what is the basis for delimitation? The basis for delimitation of constituencies to the Lok Sabha is population. Every state is divided into a certain number of constituencies based on the population of that state. Hence, every state gets representation in the Lok Sabha in proportion to its population as per census figures. This is a very big lacunae in the way that the Indian system is organized, because the moment you say that the number of seats that a state gets is based on its population, then population control goes for a toss, because the political leaders will not control the population of the state because they want more number of seats from that state to go to the Lok Sabha, which means that they will have greater controlling power in the central administration as well. So having the delimitation based on population and sending representatives based on the basis of population is a very bad idea, and a new way of organizing the constituencies has to come up later in certain point of time. We will also look at the reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The Constitution reserves certain seats in every general election for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The reservation is made in line with the provisions of Article 330 and the Representation of People Act of 1950. I repeat, the Constitution allows for certain reservation in seats for the scheduled castes and scheduled tribes. The reservation is made in line with the provisions of Article 330 and the Representation of People Act of 1950. A total of 131 seats are reserved for the representatives of scheduled castes and scheduled tribes, as we saw in the split of 84 and 47. The first schedule of the Representation of People Act of 1950, as amended by the RPA of 2008, gives the state-wise breakup of seats as well. So this is about the reservation of seats for scheduled castes and scheduled tribes and about the delimitation. We will continue with the polity course in the next video as well. This concludes this video. Thank you.